Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
President Trump has the ability to pass. He's got a gun. He's got a gun.
And you're looking live this morning as the sun rises over our nation's Capitol building. Americans are waking up with heavy hearts after the Capitol came under siege yesterday from extreme pro-Trump supporters. Good morning and good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen.
And I'm Alex Fisher, and we wanted to show you a little bit of the aftermath after yesterday's, after rioters stormed Capitol Hill yesterday. And here's just a look at the pictures here from yesterday. And as you can see, papers and folders scattered across office floors, cabinets and shelves swung open, flipped over furniture, shattered windows, empty fire extinguishers, and the damage, a result of this.
They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down.
4 people are dead this morning after a mob of pro-Trump extremists stormed the Capitol building in an attempt to disrupt the certification of Joe Biden's presidential victory. 1 woman was shot and killed by police. 3 others died from injuries.
Senators and House members were forced to evacuate as the rioters entered the nation's capital with little to no resistance from Capitol Police. Congress carried on until early this morning, until Joe Biden's Electoral College votes were officially certified. Now, countless questions remain about how this was allowed to happen and where the nation goes from here.
Meantime, early this morning, President Trump committed to an orderly transfer of power. The move came moments after Congress certified the election of President-elect Joe Biden. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Dan Scavino released a statement from the president over Twitter. It reads, quote, "Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I have always said we would continue our fight to ensure that only legal votes were counted. While this represents the end of the greatest first term in presidential history, it's only the beginning of our fight to make America great again."
And new this morning, we have reaction from local elected representatives on both sides of the aisle, and in rare form, Democrats and Republicans appear to be united in condemning yesterday's violence. 17's Eitan Wallace joins us now to explain. Eitan?
And we're hearing from Congressman Kevin McCarthy, House Minority Leader from Bakersfield. Last night, he addressed his fellow members of Congress. He's calling for peace and unity.
It was the saddest day I've ever had as serving as a member of this institution.
A sad day, said Congressman Kevin McCarthy, as he spoke before the House of Representatives just hours after this. Violent rioters stormed the Capitol, getting into the chambers, breaking windows, stealing property, and clashing with police. The situation escalating and turning deadly. As of this morning, 4 people died, including 1 woman shot by Capitol Police.
The violence, destruction, and chaos we saw earlier was unacceptable, undemocratic, and un-American.
While the Capitol was on lockdown, Democratic Congressman Jim Costa, who once represented Kern County and now represents Fresno, was in the middle of it. He hid and sheltered in place in the gallery.
We saw a group of people that decided that they would take the law into their own hands and take upon a treasonous act, because that's what this is, a treasonous act. They were urged on by the president, sadly, and they stormed the Capitol to disrupt our process.
Congressman David Valadao, not in Washington due to a positive COVID-19 test, called the behavior of the violent mob absolutely abhorrent and un-American. In a statement, he said, quote, "I denounce this behavior to the fullest extent. We are so much better than this."
Let's show the country the mob did not win. We have a job to do it. Let's do it with pride, and let's be better when the sun rises tomorrow. With that, I yield back, Madam Speaker.
So when Congress officially reconvened last night after all this chaos at the Capitol, well, they ended up objecting to some of the results, including Congressman Kevin McCarthy. He objected to the results out of Arizona. Let me show you here. He and 120 other House GOP members objected to the results of the Arizona Electoral College. But I should tell you, it ultimately was rejected. 303 people in the House rejected it to 121 who supported objecting to those results. Now, one thing I should say is Congressman Valadao, again, he was not present for that vote because he did have that positive COVID test. Now, coming up in the next half hour, we told you how our Congress members are responding, but what about our local current representatives who represent us in Sacramento? How are they responding? How are members from both sides of the aisle there responding to what happened in Washington? We'll have that at 5:30. Let's send it back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Eitan. And while hundreds of rioters violently made their way into the Capitol building, another kind of protest took place on Twitter as many Republican lawmakers took to the platform to share their thoughts on the president's handling of the situation. 17th Taylor Schaub is joining us in studio this morning with more on those reactions. Taylor?
Well, thanks, Maddie. Before the social media giant took the unprecedented step of temporarily suspending the president's Twitter account, the commander-in-chief's actions were condemned online by several key members of his own party. Let's take a look. Congresswoman Liz Cheney and daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney said, "There is no question that the president formed the mob, the president incited the mob, the president addressed the mob, and he lit the flame." Republican Senator Mitt Romney from Utah released a blistering critique of Trump, saying the day's events were the result of a selfish man's injured pride and the outrage of his supporters, whom he deliberately misinformed for the past 2 months and stirred the actions that very morning. He added, "What happened at the Capitol was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States." Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger offered harsh words of his own towards the president, calling the attack a coup attempt, and tweeted directly at the president, saying, "You are not protecting the country. Where is the D.C. Guard? You are done, and your legacy will be a disaster." Well, Senator Ben Sasse said the Capitol was ransacked while the leader of the free world cowered behind his keyboard, tweeting against his vice president for fulfilling the duties of the oath of the Constitution. He added that lies have consequence, and this violence was the inevitable and ugly outcome of the president's addiction to constantly stoking division. And finally, just days into his first term in Congress, Representative Peter Meyer, a Republican of Michigan, denounced President Trump, saying, "Enough. Acknowledge Biden as president-elect and end this madness." Violent rioters laid siege to the nation's capital in an act of insurrection unparalleled during these modern times. This is not leadership. Now, in the case of the president's own Twitter account, it will be put back online this morning, but the platform did say that if he did not stop posting tweets like this, that they may permanently ban it. In studio, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
Thank you very much, Taylor. And we're learning more about the woman who was fatally shot inside the Capitol yesterday. Families identifying her as Ashley Babbitt of San Diego. The 35-year-old was in Washington, D.C., protesting President Donald Trump's loss in the 2020 election. Her brother-in-law, Justin Jackson, tells KNSD in San Diego that he has been in contact with Washington, D.C. Metro Police. He says police have not informed him what led up to the shooting. Jackson released a statement reading, "Ashley was both loyal as well as extremely passionate about what she believed in. She loved this country and felt honored to have served in our armed forces. Please keep her family and your thoughts and respect their privacy during this time."
And meantime, buried in the news cycle of yesterday, an NBC News projection that Democrat John Ossoff has defeated Republican David Perdue in their Senate runoff race in Georgia. His victory comes as fellow Democrat Raphael Warnock defeated Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler in Georgia's other runoff contest. The twin Democratic victories gave the party control of the Senate and a major boost to the fortunes of President-elect Joe Biden's cabinet nominees and legislative agenda. The Senate will now stand at 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans, allowing incoming Vice President Kamala Harris to cast tie-breaking votes. The 33-year-old Ossoff will become the youngest U.S. senator.
All right, let's go ahead and take a little break from the news and check out your forecast on this Thursday morning. Kevin has a look at that from home. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning. Yes, we are seeing a little bit more fog than we saw yesterday around the area. Some visibility has dropped, mainly north of the Kern County area, right along the Kern County line up near Delano. So if you're heading north, you are going to run into some of that fog once again. as we show you the visibility map right now, you can see where that fog is. And visibility, let's take a look. And we've got 4 miles out in Bakersfield, so not a problem. But look at Delano, Merced, and Fresno. We're down to 0 visibility. So if you are going to be traveling that way, expect the fog. The dense fog advisory for the northern part of the county is in place until 11 a.m. this morning. And you can see nothing into downtown. We've got a current temperature of 40 degrees under a calm wind. And as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, a mix of sun and clouds today, temperatures will be back into the upper 50s. And then for Tehachapi, here's a live look. Unfortunately, their current observations out of the airport are down at this time. So in terms of temperatures, I might have to rely on Maddie's in the studio today. So hopefully that'll come back up soon. But I will tell you, we're expecting a mix of sun and clouds today, and temperatures are going to be in the 50s. So temperature should be starting out in those 30s and 40s, but a nice comfortable afternoon ahead. I'll have much more on your forecast. That's coming up in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Switching gears to the latest on the coronavirus now, and here at home, as Kern Public Health reported more than 1,000 new cases of coronavirus yesterday and 3 new deaths. Nearly 74,000 people have been infected with this virus in Kern County. Right now, about 1 in 23 people in the county are currently infected with this virus. But the main concern right now are hospitals. They continue to fill up, and beds and resources are being spread thin. State health data shows 422 people in Kern County are in the hospital with coronavirus. 86 people are in the ICU. 521 lives have been lost due to this virus.
And Kern Public Health is encouraging residents to get tested even if they are not showing symptoms. Yesterday, they released information on 11 free coronavirus testing sites across the county. Those sites include the Kern County Fairgrounds, Sagebrush Medical Plaza, Clinica Sierra Vista in Bakersfield, Arvin, and Lamont. All testing sites are available for walk-ups or drive-through. You can find these test sites plus a full list of all local testing sites on Kern Public Health's website. There's an interactive map in both English and Spanish, plus information on hours of operation, addresses, and other important information.
Now to the latest on the lawsuit between local restaurants and Governor Gavin Newsom. A Kern County judge yesterday refused to issue an injunction to at least temporarily allow outdoor dining again. This after finding the plaintiffs failed to show the governor exceeded his legal powers with recent executive orders, or that the court even had the authority to issue the injunction. While acknowledging we're in some unique areas here, Superior Court Judge Kenneth Pritchard said during the hearing he did not believe he had the authority to overturn the outdoor dining ban. Pritchard also did not find Governor Gavin Newsom acted irrationally in issuing executive orders that closed dining rooms and other establishments in an effort to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
Welcome back. Your time is 5:21. Houchin Community Blood Bank is in dire need of blood and plasma donations, especially as the pandemic continues to worsen. Houchin says it is most in need of blood types O and A. They're also asking for more donations of COVID-19 convalescent plasma, with their inventory decreasing by 74% since December 1st. Houchin says as COVID-19 cases rise, their supply is dwindling. To see if you qualify to donate and schedule, head to hcbb.com/COVID.
Looking ahead to this weekend, you can get in on the game and help a good cause at the same time. On Saturday, it is the 24-hour Game-a-thon charity fundraiser. You can watch the event live streamed on the Adventure Central YouTube channel and their Facebook page. Starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, wraps up at 10 a.m. the next day. Proceeds are going to the Ronald McDonald House. The search continues for 2 California City boys missing for more than 2 weeks now. A search party was held on Monday in Bakersfield near the intersection of Cottonwood Road and Casa Loma Drive. Organizers say that's one of the areas they believe the boys were last seen. It follows another search party happening in California City over the weekend, where businesses have offered rewards totaling $25,000 to anyone who can find the boys. Today, the California City Council will meet to determine an award for finding the boys. In the agenda, the council is asking the city to match the $25,000 put up by businesses in the area. We'll bring you the latest on those developments coming up tonight on 17 News at 5. Meantime, anyone with information can call the California City Police Department at 760-373-8606 or Secret Witness at 322-4040.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back here at 5:25 in your 17 Business Watch. Fisher-Price is introducing a new line of infant and toddler toys that are bound to make you feel a little nostalgic. Fisher-Price took inspiration from 80s and 90s pop culture to create new retro-inspired toys for babies and toddlers, a handheld gaming device, a mixtape, and a pretend boombox. All part of the new Laugh and Learn toy line. The mixtape and boombox are sold exclusively at Target. The handheld gaming device is also available on the Fisher-Price website. Denny's is giving away a free stack of pancakes to help celebrate finally being free of 2020. The deal includes free delivery. To get your free stack of 2 buttermilk pancakes and free delivery through January 18th, make a qualifying purchase of $5 or more on Dennys.com or the Denny's mobile app. And Jimmy Dean expanding its breakfast offerings with 2 new plant-based patty breakfast sandwiches. One comes on a croissant with egg and cheese. The other is the Jimmy Dean Delights plant-based patty and frittata on a whole wheat English muffin. Jimmy Dean says demand for plant-based food options has grown exponentially, with retail sales up 148% since the onset of COVID-19 in mid-March. By the end of 2020, a majority of Americans reported transitioning to a more flexitarian diet, incorporating more plant-based foods.
Maddie, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The curfew is over. The city is still under a state of emergency, but Capitol Police have given the all clear for the entire Capitol complex after the riots that threatened to derail the democratic process as lawmakers were trying to name the next president.
Capitol Hill is quiet this morning after riots stopped the electoral vote count, sent lawmakers into hiding, and left 4 people dead, including this San Diego woman shot by police.
A woman died out there tonight, and you're making these objections.
The business of confirming Joe Biden as the next president continued all night.
The votes for president of the United States are as follows. Joseph R. Biden, Jr., of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
With some Republicans now dropping their objections.
I cannot now in good conscience object to the certification.
All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
Brazen rioters smashing windows onto the Senate floor gave Democrats and Republicans a renewed resolve.
We will not be kept out of this chamber by thugs, mobs, or threats.
To those who strove to deter us from our responsibility, you have failed.
Some blaming President Trump's earlier comments at the Save America rally.
This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition.
The president, stripped of his ability to tweet, called out Vice President Pence for not declaring him the winner.
What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States.
The president eventually tweeted calling for calm to no avail. Too little, too late, critics say, on a day when American democracy was tested and survived.
And we've heard from President Trump this morning in a statement saying that even though he disagrees with the results, with the outcome, that there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.